Steelers Nation, listen up. We've got some heavy-hitting news that's flying under the radar, and believe me, it's the kind of locker room talk that only we can break down with this much detail. It's got everything. A major player showing elite professionalism, a blockbuster trade rumor, and an offensive line that's shaking in its boots. Stick with me to the end because there's a surprise that's going to hit the Steel Curtain faithful right in the feels. But before we get to that, a quick heads up. Almost 90% of you watching right now haven't hit the subscribe button. Let's change that. It's a huge help in growing the channel and keeping this unfiltered talk alive. Make sure to drop a like, share this with your tailgating crew, and fire off a comment. I want to hear your take on all this because every opinion matters in our conversation. Okay, this one came out of nowhere. Aaron Rodgers, our veteran QB, gave DK Metcalf some homework, and the result has left everyone speechless. DK didn't just complete the assignment, he elevated the entire team. This isn't just a sports media story, it's a real deal breakdown from someone who's been following the Steelers up close. Rodgers asked DK to watch film of the opposing team every week and create a detailed report. Seems simple? Maybe. But imagine the discipline it takes to sit down, study, and write it all up when so many players in this league are more concerned with social media than with the game. And the wildest part, Rodgers actually forgot about the task, but DK didn't. He messaged the QB with a full breakdown packed with heavy analysis, almost like he was an extra coach on the staff. This proves two things. First, DK isn't here just to be a highlight reel superstar. He wants to be a leader, a true veteran presence. Second, Rodgers knows how to push people to get the best out of them, and it's working. Other guys on the team are already talking about him with huge respect. Joey Porter Jr. called him a freak of nature. Tomlin didn't hold back, saying DK is a true pro. Even rookie Roman Wilson said DK is the blueprint. He's becoming the gold standard. In the last game against the Jets, DK had 4 catches for 83 yards. No touchdown true, but his presence changes the entire opposing defense. Rodgers threw 4 touchdowns and none went to DK. You might be thinking, man, is he being underused? But hold on, if he's already scouting the opponent, just imagine what will happen when that translates into routine on the field. The chemistry will skyrocket, his numbers will explode, and we'll have an offense that could remind us of the best days of the Steel Curtain, but on the offensive side of the ball. And there's more. Sunday, we face the Seahawks, DK's former team. That narrative is huge. There's no way a player's mind isn't affected when he's going up against the team that either didn't want to re-sign him or let him walk. He has a chance to show them he's on a whole different level. Think about it, an experienced Rodgers, a motivated DK, and a rival defense trying to guess the playbook he helped build. That's a recipe for a show. Honestly, I love this attitude from DK. We've seen receivers who only care about the flash. DK is proving he cares about winning and building something special as a team. If he keeps this up, it'll be impossible not to compare him to the legends who gave everything for this franchise. Let me know in the comments. Do you think this kind of professionalism could be the key to the offense finally clicking? Hang tight because the next bombshell is even bigger. It involves a huge name and a trade rumor that could become the talk of Pittsburgh. Now, hold on tight because this is where the conversation really heats up. The buzz is that the Steelers want none other than Tyreek Hill. Yes, the cheetah himself, the guy who can burn any defense in seconds. Mike Florio dropped this one, and he doesn't talk without a hot source. The same guy previously nailed the Jalen Ramsey move. Remember, everyone doubted him, and what happened? It came true. So when he says Pittsburgh is interested in Hill, we have to take it seriously. It's complicated, though. First, the talent. Hill is still a game wrecker. 2 seasons ago, he had almost 1,800 yards and 13 touchdowns. Video game numbers. Last year, it dropped to 959 yards, but that's still top-tier wide receiver production. The guy's got gas left in the tank, no question. The problem is the baggage that comes with him. A monster contract with a cap hit of almost $28 million in 2025 and over $50 million in 2026. To fit that under the salary cap, Omar Khan would have to pull off a miracle, and everyone knows Pittsburgh has never been the type of team to spend that much on a receiver. Another thing, there's an ongoing investigation into him, serious stuff involving domestic violence. The league is already on it. That weighs heavily, especially for a franchise that values culture and reputation. It would be a huge risk to bring that kind of headline into the locker room. Mike Tomlin always talks about mentality and protecting the team. Is it worth putting that at risk for this kind of talent? At the same time, we have a clear need. We know it. Metcalf is a monster. Calvin Austin III has shown flashes. But what about the rest? We lack depth. We lack that guy who instills fear on the line of scrimmage. Hill would be that guy. And imagine Rodgers with 2 targets of that caliber. It would be a video game offense, folks, but it's that classic cost-benefit analysis. Florio even said the talk started after the Dolphins got hammered by the Colts 33-8. People were already saying Miami might implode and trade the cheetah, but Adam Schefter, who is also a respected insider, has said the Dolphins haven't even received calls about him. So for now, it's all smoke, no fire. To me, if the Steelers get in on this, it's a sign that the team is 100% all in on this season, not thinking about tomorrow, not holding anything back. And honestly, that gets us excited because it reminds us of the years when the Steel Curtain was all about aggression, always gunning for the title. But this is different. It involves a lot of money, a risk of controversy, and an uncertain future. So what do you think? Would it be worth the risk to bring in Hill, even with all the off-field baggage? Let me know in the comments, and stay alert because the next one has to do with the offensive line and a name that no one expected to see on the radar. Friends, now the conversation takes a turn. The Steelers are eyeing an offensive line reinforcement, and the name that's popped up is Jedrick Wills Jr., formerly of the Browns. This has caught a lot of people by surprise because he's a free agent with a complicated history of injuries, especially to his knee. At the same time, he has a first-round pedigree, has been a starter for several seasons, and has experience against the tough defenses of the AFC North. And that brings up a familiar dilemma for Pittsburgh. Is it worth betting on a reclamation project? Let's be honest, our offensive line is a weak point. Broderick Jones is still raw. Fautanu is promising but needs competition. And Rodgers can't keep taking a beating on every single snap. Wills, even with his issues, would bring experience, leadership, and a veteran presence. His cost would be low compared to other names because his market value has plummeted. This is exactly how Omar Khan likes to operate. A controlled bet, a short contract filled with performance clauses. And then there's Tomlin's style. Anyone who follows the team knows he loves to take a player who has fallen out of favor and try to mold him into the Steelers culture. We've seen it work a few times. The idea isn't to bring Wills in as a savior, but as a rotational piece, a mentor for the young guys, and coverage in case of injury. And let's be real, without protection, it doesn't matter if we have Rodgers, Metcalf, or even Hill if he came. Everything dies in the pocket. The negative is obvious. Wills might never fully recover from his knee injury. He could sign, train, play 1 or 2 snaps, and head back to the sidelines. We would waste cap space and a roster spot for nothing. And right now, every dollar counts. Plus, the fan base would be divided. Some would see it as a smart bet, while others would complain that we're wasting energy on a broken player. But I can see the logic in this move. First, because the roster needs depth. Second, because if it goes wrong, the contract is short without compromising the future. And if it works out, Rodgers gets more protection, the young guys learn from a veteran, and we hold the pocket longer. That could be the difference between a mediocre season and a real playoff run. Now think with me. Wills has faced Pittsburgh multiple times. He knows the atmosphere. He understands the rivalry. If he agrees to wear the black and gold, he'll arrive with that extra chip on his shoulder to prove himself against his former team. That could be fuel to the fire. So, would you risk bringing in Wills despite his injury history, or would you prefer to just trust the young guys and leave Rodgers at their mercy? Let me know in the comments. Hang tight because the last piece of news is explosive. An insider is already saying that Broderick Jones could lose his starting spot sooner than we think. Friends, this is one of those that hits you in the gut. An insider is already saying that Broderick Jones might lose his starting spot. That's right, the kid who was a first-round pick in 2023, who came in with so much expectation, could be on the hot seat early in the season. The word came from Ray Fittipaldo, a respected voice from the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, and he doesn't just throw words out there. The problem is simple to understand. Jones has talent, but he hasn't been able to turn that into consistency. Against the Jets in the season opener, it was clear he was always a step behind in pass protection. Pressure was getting to Rodgers easily, and he had no time to breathe. And in the running game, he didn't give us the push we needed either. The entire line didn't play well, but his mistakes weighed more heavily because it's the most critical position. The talk is, how long can this go on? Fittipaldo was blunt, saying that if things continue this way, he won't last long. A fan even asked if he'll still be a starter in October, and the response was discouraging. I'm not confident. That coming from someone so close to the team has set off a full-blown alarm. If Jones is benched, the options aren't exactly thrilling. Calvin Anderson is the first name, but he's never been a solid solution. There's also Andrus Peat, who was a Pro Bowl guard but has played tackle at times. And then Spencer Anderson, that versatile guy who can cover any position. But let's be real, none of these guys inspire confidence in protecting Rodgers' blind side. For us fans, it hurts to see a high draft pick in this situation. Jones was a national champion at Georgia. He came in with the stamp of being the future of the offensive line, and now he's in a conversation about being benched. It seems like the transition to the professional level has hit him hard. The Steelers bet that he would have a steady evolution, but so far it's been a curve of headaches. I'm torn. On one hand, leaving him out there could severely hurt our protection. Rodgers isn't a kid anymore. He can't take free hits. On the other hand, if you pull the kid now, you could crush his confidence and burn a talent that still has a high ceiling. Mike Tomlin will have to balance firmness with patience. What would you do? Would you bench Broderick now and put a veteran in, even if it's a temporary fix? Or would you stick it out and let the kid learn by taking his lumps? This dilemma is going to get really heated in the coming weeks, and don't go anywhere. After these 4 bombshells, we'll wrap everything up with a message that will hit home for anyone who lives and breathes the black and gold. Folks, after all that, there's no denying it. The Steelers are at a defining moment. Rodgers pushing for discipline, Metcalf becoming a leader, the Tyreek Hill rumor stirring things up, the offensive line at risk, Broderick on the hot seat. It's pressure from all sides, but that's what makes us love this team, isn't it? Non-stop emotion. So let's hear it in the comments. This space belongs to everyone who lives and breathes Pittsburgh. Join us for the next video, because just when you think you've seen it all, another bombshell drops.